Hey everybody, so I'm going to be canning some chuck roast two ways, and this is 6 pounds that I got for $13. I didn't think that was too shabby these days for the moment, at least not in my area. So one of these I'm going to cube up and brown up and season really well, and then we are going to use some clear gel to make some gravy, and we're just going to can it as beef tip and gravy with some onion, and that's it. And the other one, we're going to do a couple of pints with just the hunk of roast. So you can use that as a roast for dinner with mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes, whatever you want. Enchiladas, all sorts of things. So just going to do it and brown it off and put it in jars with some broth, and then the other one we are going to do with gravy. So I'm going to cube it up. I have a pot underneath here that is warm and has some olive oil in it. I had to trim off a lot of silver skin, so you can do that if you want. I'm just trying to figure out which one I'm going to do for roast and which one I'm going to do for the beef and gravy. So I'll probably get three pints of just a chunk of pot roast, and then probably 3 or 4 pints. I really didn't look. This one's bigger than that one, so this one might be 3.5 pounds. I could have looked at that better, but I did pay $13.97. So we're just going to cube this up, and the cubes can be any size you want them to be. I don't like them to be too terribly big. I mean, people may argue, but I don't have that big a mouth. And depending on what you use it in. See, I missed a piece of silver skin there. That really doesn't add anything to your dish. So I'm going to cube this up. I'm going to use some Lowry's and garlic and all those good things. Chunk up some onion, cube it up into large cubes. And we're going to brown this off. I'm going to do it in batches so it browns nicely and doesn't steam. And you can raw pack this if you want to. You can raw pack all of it, except for, you wouldn't be able to do the gravy part very well. But if you just wanted to cube this up and raw pack it, you could do that and then do your thickening and all that when you open the jar. And my pan's very hot. Add my meat. Put my seasoning. Okay, so I'm going to use some granulated onion. You see, I'm all discombobulated because my dog is making me crazy, and I did some granola and a yogurt parfait, so to speak. I've still got breakfast sandwiches to do. I love the smell of that granulated onion, so I'm using that. And some of that. And some pepper. So I'm going to do this in batches so it doesn't get all steamy and turn gray. If you overload your pan with meat, it'll steam. And I just want to get a nice brown sear on it. I'm not trying to cook it. I just prefer that in my canning. I think the meat is a better product that way. So season each batch that you do the same way, and you can season it any way you like your meat. I've done so much cooking, I've used up all my cutting boards. I need to run the dishwasher, and I still have to do my husband's breakfast sandwiches, so I'll do them when this is in the canner. So I'm going to continue cutting up my meat, browning it really well, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all browned up and we move on to the step with the gravy. Alrighty, so here's our meat, and then I deglazed the pan with some beef broth and then poured that back into this pitcher of beef broth excuse me, that I'll be using in the rest of the recipe. So I have seasoned one side of the other roast and cut it into 3 portions. And if I need to trim it down for the jar, I will. And just add it to one that can use more. But should be pretty alright. And I'm going to brown this on all sides, so keep turning it. And like I said, we're just browning it, getting a nice color on it. We're not cooking it through. So it is a chuck roast, so it'll do most of its cooking, well, all of it, in the canner. And the same with the cubed meat. Season it any way you like. This is kind of a twofer, but I usually split them up when I do this, but I want the canner as full as possible. So I'm going to brown this on all sides and get some more lids. Get my rings ready and my clear gel, and I will see you back here when this is all browned up. Alrighty, so here's our chunks ready to go in the jars. I browned them on all sides. Got jars in the way. And stuffing them in. Then I have some onion, half an onion that I chunked. I'm going to stuff that in. any, that's hot, any open space. You want 1 inch of head space. That would be Mitzi. Do you hear her griping? She wants me to go open the door. She's very bossy, you guys, I'm telling you. She's very bossy. Okay. Now, to that same pan that is smoking hot, turned it down to low, I'm going to add our browned meat, and the other half of that onion I did in large cubes. So I'm just going to dump that in there. Fly you back over here. I have too many projects. I still have to do breakfast sandwiches. Okay. Going to stir this up. To add some beef broth and deglaze those bits on the bottom. Which is all mole flavor. And we're going to go back over here. Okay, sorry. Just trying to get in a smooth groove. So I have some vinegar. Get that initial stuff off of there from putting them in the jar. And then we are going to add broth. 1 inch of head space. And these will just be nice pieces of roast that you can use for a pot roast, enchiladas, all kinds of things. Just let your imagination flow. Whatever you would use chuck roast for, or a pot roast, you know. Use the broth to make gravy. So we're going to debubble. I'm going to go have to let her in. Can you hear her? She's getting really mad. Mitzi! Wipe your rims with vinegar. That'll ensure you get any grease off. You want to make sure everything's very clean. You want to make sure they all seal. Put Put your lids on. Fingertip tight. Put them in the canner. The canner is warm. Everything is warm. And those will stay warm while we work on the beef and gravy. So, back to the beef and gravy. Alrighty, so we are using a non-GMO non-GMO clear gel cook type. You don't want to use the instant clear gel. It won't hold up. This is made specifically for canning. If you buy anything from the Amish stores, they sell this as well as products they make with that. And you would be very surprised at how many people that are very strict in their canning buy Amish canned goods, and they do water bath just about everything. But anyways, so I put a half a cup of clear gel in here. I'm going to add beef broth to that and mix it well. I'm going to put the rest of the beef broth in here. Stir up our clear gel. You want to bring this up to a boil. Make sure clear gel in really well. You can also use this in your pie fillings. I've got blueberry pie filling, cherry pie filling, blackberry pie filling. My blackberry bush is about the only thing that survived. The honeysuckle's coming back. I'm hoping I can get some jelly out of it. Little girl behind me was yelling at her sister, "You can lick the nectar off the flowers," and she was yelling at her sister for picking the flowers because she said, "Fanny's gonna make honey jelly. Stop eating them." She's 5. But you know, 5-year-olds now are like 13-year-olds. It's amazing. And the sister's like 10. So told my husband, I said, "How did I get pulled into their argument?" I didn't sell them anything. I don't care if they eat the honeysuckles. We're the ones who showed them how to do it. So. Okay. So we're going to bring this up to a boil until it thickens. And then we will fill our jar. So when this comes up to a boil, I'll come right back. Okay. So we're coming up to a bubble, and you see it's turned back dark again. Thickening up. Get these paper towels out here. Still have to one more project, which I was going to do a video on that. It's omelet egg sandwiches on English muffins. Okay, so now can you see? Not very well. So I'm going to load up with meat. Make sure you get your onion in there. What you doing, Mr. Tiggs? One inch of headspace, did I say that? And then we're going to add gravy. Need to find another jar. Going to add gravy. Debubble. Debubble. Gravy. Debubble. This looks so nice and rich. And you can always taste your sauces and stuff to make sure your seasonings are where you want them. If you use herbs, use less rather than more, because everything intensifies in the canning process, so you don't want things too salty, too spicy, too herby. You don't want to use sage. Sage does not can well. So if you can sausage, don't do the... I always recommend you do one jar of something and see if you like it before you do a whole batch of something. I've seen a lot of people not like what they've canned and throw it all away, and we can't afford that. These are hot, fingertip tight. And I also wash my jars after I can them. It lets you know that they're sealed, and it gets off any gunk that may have gotten under the lid that could compromise your seal in the storage process. So I'm going to find another jar or two because I've got more in this pot. Okay, our canner is full. We have 8 jars in there. This one in the middle is 1.5 pints. It's just the gravy, so it'll be fine in this process. It's just liquid. So what you want to do, the V on your lid, the V on your handle, match them up. This is a Presto. Lock it. This will pop up. This will vent steam for 10 minutes. You'll add your weight. You do the pressure and weight for your area. You can look that up on the USDA canning site. Find out what your pound is, your pressure, and your elevation. You can put in your area and Google it, and it will tell you the elevation in your area. Make sure you put the zip code and everything. So we're going to turn this up. When our weight comes to a soft jiggle, we will set the timer for 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts. So I will see you guys when this is coming out, and now I'm going to go work on his breakfast. Okay, you guys, it's come down from pressure on its own. It's almost 3 in the morning. I would like to let it sit longer, but I gotta go to bed. So always, always, always take it away from your face. It smells really good in here. This is our gravy. Back you up. We're popping. We're pinging. At least it was a full canner, eh? Oh, it smells really good. These are going to be tasty. I got a lot of cooking done. Let's see if I can arrange these. So there we have it, you guys. We've got beef and gravy, we've got pot roast, and we've got beef and onion gravy. So, and that's the onion. See the layer of onion there? So if you have any questions, let me know down below. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. Thumbs up helps the channel. And yeah, let me know if I can answer any questions or give this recipe a try, either one of the recipes. This was a twofer to fill the canner, but you can take meat and make, you know, a couple of different things at one time. So, especially if they process at the same time. So, oh, sorry, I'm tired. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you all in the next video. Buy what you can, prep what you can, and stay safe out there.